So, Phil, what inspired you to put your name forward as a candidate in this election?
Well, I wanted to finish the job that we started 4 years ago. I wanted to get our financial house in order. Wanted to see if we couldn't reduce the operating costs of our city so that our tax bill to our citizens wouldn't continue at 4.5% or 5% a year. And I wanted to see that we would make sure that our energy sources are in good shape. As we all know, natural gas is losing a ton of money. It's not losing as much anymore because of the shutdown of a lot of the unproductive wells, but we still lose money. And I want to make sure that the power plant in an ever-changing market, especially with renewables and climate change and carbon tax, that this will not affect our profitability there. So I'd like to be part of that. I'm also really happy about the fact for the first time, our city has a strategic plan for economic development. It's the first time, finally, we have a strategic plan for energy, including the electrical plant. And it's the first time we actually have a strategic plan to reduce city operating costs. That's why I'm running.
So, can you share a little bit more about your experience that's going to assist you in being an effective elected representative?
Well, working with the company that I work for as the general manager of Austin Curtain Sales Limited, we owned and operated 3 Canadian Tire stores, 2 gas bars. We did some commercial development on those properties. So I got exposed to a lot of financial stuff and understanding that a city, everybody says you can't run a city like a business, but I believe you can, because everything has to be efficient. You have to have a reason for doing it, and you have to understand the cost analysis of doing those projects. So I came with that, and I really enjoy what I do. I really enjoy energy because I think it's the difference in our city was when we had no problems with gas, we had all this money, but we never had a strategic plan, and it's come back to bite us. And so I'm really excited about ensuring that we have that plan for electrical going forward in a very difficult market, I believe, in the future.
So, what do you believe are the important issues facing our region?
Well, look at everybody in Alberta is trying to get the same economic impact. Everybody wants to offer incentives. And I think we've always been shy of that because we had all that big pot of money. We didn't need it. But now it's a different thing. So we have to learn. We must do what everybody else does. There's one game, and everybody's playing it. And we got to play that game better than them. So I'm really excited about the incentives. I'm really excited about our economic development strategic plan because I think we're seeing exciting things. One of the big things for me, I think is most important for our future, is carbon capture. Carbon capture will mean that we will no longer pay carbon tax at the plant, which will drop our production costs. We will protect our businesses such as Methanex, CF, who also wants to lower their production costs because they're finding as that production cost increases, so does the price of what they produce. And now they're finding it may become uncompetitive in a world market. And if we lose those 2 large, and some of the other large ones who use natural gas and are paying carbon tax, I believe our city would face some really, really tough times.
So, how do you believe your election platform or priorities will benefit and improve the lives of our constituents?
That's a good question. I think bringing jobs allows us to have it grows our tax base, allows us to have more money to improve our quality of life, improve our parks, upgrade Echodale, which has been around since 1980. It looks a little tired. We're all happy that we got it, but it needs to have some tender loving care. So, but all those things come with money. Recreation and facilities and other parks that we need to build in the south and in ranchlands in the north, they would like those amenities as well. But that comes with a price tag. So if we get our city growing and stimulated and people coming here to work and get jobs and buy homes or rent homes or start off as their first home, all that is, and shops in our stores, and those stores expand. And so the stimulus is important, and you need that stimulus to get money to improve the quality of life.
Great. So what specific strategies and policies would you suggest to address the pillars in the Chamber's Vote Prosperity platform? So those include innovation and a competitive strategy, infrastructure development, image and branding, workforce development, and of course, business and financial supports.
Well, let's talk about workforce development. We're because of the announcement of our hydrogen hub and carbon capture, we're already in discussions with Medicine Hat College as to what those jobs will be, and will we be able to have those people here? If not, are we going to be able to train people to fill those jobs? And they're really good paying jobs. So we're already working on that because we realize that's part of the whole plan. Business and financial support. Look, you're going to think I'm trying to buy you votes for the chamber, but I get it. I would like to see us. We have different ways that we can tax people in different groups, right? And commercial pays 2.3 you pay versus residential. I think it's something like that. And I'd like to see it come down. I'd like to see it even come down lower for small business. However, one of the things we got to do before we can do that is we got to go into City Hall and say, okay, we drop this one and this one. How does that affect the revenue stream? And where do we pick up the rest of that revenue? And so until you know those answers, you say, yeah, that's what I'd like to do, but I got to find out if it's financially feasible and how much would we have to, how much we would have to make up in other categories.
Great. I guess as we conclude here, is there any other additional comments, perhaps related to the last question, or any other remarks or insights that you'd like to provide to the voting public today?
Look, I work really hard. I know people say that actually is the wrong word because I don't like to work hard. I work smart. I do a lot of research. I do a lot of reading. I'm on not just the energy and infrastructure and public works and airport. That's a very big committee now. But I also go to the other committees as much as I can. I was at Public Services just the other day on Tuesday because that was a big thing coming forward, right? It's the recreation master plan for parks and recreation. And so I'm a great believer, if you don't have a plan, it's going to come back to bite you. So we've got some old infrastructure that was built back when we had 25 and 30,000 people in the city. Now we have 65, and we've got much more people in Redcliffe and the county who use our facilities, which is another story. But so we need to examine, where is our city going in the future? And as those older infrastructures become way past their lifespan and way too expensive to keep them going with Band-Aids, we need to have a plan as where would we build them, what would we build, and where will we get the money? And so for me, having a plan plans are not carved in concrete, but you have to be able to be, what my father would say, nimble on your feet and watch what's going on. And as the market changes, you have to change your plans. So that's what I'm experienced in when I worked for Austin Curtin Sales Limited, because if we didn't understand the market, we would get caught, and we had a plan for that. We always were planning.
Excellent. Well, thank you for your time today, Phil.
Oh, thank you.